Three men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
I got sent an email from someone that is connected to one of us three. And this one of us three is Darren's wife. Yes.
My wife's been in touch.
Yes, your wife has emailed me. I believe you may be sleeping in separate rooms at the moment because she's not very happy with you. And I believe it might be because during the night, you sort of sound a bit like this.
Now, I didn't think the new Jurassic Park was out until next year. But what the sweet Jesus was that?
Just to picture the scene. I'm lying in bed with the wife. Hi, babe. You all right? Yeah, I'm absolutely. Yeah, it's fine. Let me just take the mask off and we'll have a smooch. When we've all finished, instead of cuddling and going, love you too, we go, I'm going to turn over and mask up again.
Oh, you don't want it, do you?
These Three Media. Three Men and a Microphone podcast. So it's time for Damien's Bits.
So this is the bit in the podcast that we hand over to Damien for his bits. Have you got a juicy bit for us today, Damien?
I've got 2 bits today for you. Yeah, 2 bits. Now,
bits?
Are they dangling bits?
Do you know what? This is more of a wet bit and a juicy bit.
Ooh.
I got dumped over a wet bit once.
Juicy and wet.
This is interesting because, Darren, you're a man that...
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm staying in on the demo.
Darren, you're a man that likes to finger.
Fudge? What?
So, now, I saw this, and again, when I do these you've corpse, haven't you? You've gone.
He's not going to do this.
I don't know which one he's gone, a finger or the other one.
3 men close to a midlife crisis. 3 microphones, 1 Zoom call, all lead to this. On the 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
Going on. Oh, actually, I did that.
I mean, really?
Hang on. Wait for it.
You didn't get this?
One sort line for week.
Ah!
Comes along on this station.
Who spoke? Who spoke? Darren?
No, it wasn't me.
It was you, right?
Yeah.
Quiet.
I'd beat him if I were you.
A bit of phlegm.
Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. I haven't even done the tray. Right.
Right, F-bomb.
This is 3 Men and a Microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
So we just saw a bear through a little hole in the fake cave that they made.
A little what? Sorry.
He was looking through the mirror.
No. Let's go back. A little what?
A little bear.
No. Before the bear, you said the bear, but before the bear, you said what? What was that word?
What's wrong?
What was the word? Say the word.
Oh.
A roll? Oh.
Oh, God.
Where did you get it from?
A little hole through the fake cave that they made for the bear.
We're broadcasting to the
bear.
nation, man.
Anyway, carry on. Number 4 for my children's toys is, and I'm going to say you're so going to rip the mickey out of me for this one, is a spirograph.
I can't. Do you know what I haven't got?
I got one. I got one for Christmas, and I never used it.
I used to spend hours using it. I used to love them. I know, but I used to love them. I know.
Mummy, New Peter's coming on, and I'm just drawing circles.
To me, she's Joanna Page, but to you, she will be Stacey from Gavin.
3 men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
Evening, everybody. Good evening. Hello and welcome. Yes, hello.
The thing to say it's on YouTube.
Okay, thank you. Hello. Welcome along. Technical issues, numero uno. Right.
Technical issues, that never happens, does
No.
it, Captain?
Hopefully, we are all good this evening. Welcome along to episode 45 of 3 Men and a Microphone from These Three Media. My name is Ian Barstow, joined by Damien Lee and Darren Antropus. Hello to both of you. How are you all?
Yo, how are you? You alright, guys?
Very good. We were just saying, weren't we, how fast these shows come round. So, no, good week. Vaccinated, had my jab. Work is going great. April is around the corner. Things are being eased in slowly. Yeah, life's pretty good, guys.
How did you feel after your vaccine, mate? Anyway, I just thought I'd ask you.
Not too bad. I mean, I was quite tired on the night. But yeah, I was fine. Slept like a daisy. Apparently, well, I've got bruises on my legs from where my other half kicked me because I snored especially loud that night. But no fuzziness, no daziness. Had it straight in there. Get me the old immunity up, and then get me in for the second one in 12 weeks' time. So, no, all good.
Don't they run it really well? It's a perfect production line operation of getting people in, checked in, jab done, wait 15 minutes, off you pop.
It made me proud to be British.
Yes.
It really did. It was amazing. So, all three of us on this show have all had our jab.
Yes,
how amazing is that?
I know, we are all vaccinated. 48% of the adult population now has a vaccine. It's very good indeed.
Wow.
Right, just to let you know, if you're watching on Facebook and you want to watch on YouTube, I've put a link in the Facebook app, in the Facebook chat. So if you want to get that, you can do. Guys, can you just talk amongst yourselves? Because I'm just going to pop downstairs and see if I can get it working for Colin.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna do what you did to me last week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Fine. Yeah. Do you know what? We've been waiting for this for so long.
I know,
to
yeah.
Finally get two men and a microphone.
I know. I think we would really take well together. As long as you're not cheesy like your radio demo, you'll be absolutely fine.
Well, I mean, I would like to think I'd have a radio career if it wasn't for you, bloody Jesse. I tell you, unbelievable. Yeah. So, how's your week been? You been okay?
Absolutely fine. A little bit tired though this week, to be honest.
Are you? Yeah.
I've been caught out napping in the afternoon.
Oh, is it a power nap or is it just a cheeky nap?
It's a 4-hour nap.
It's not really a nap, is it? It's a full-blown sleep.
Yeah.
Do you dribble?
I do, yeah. And then
dribble?
I have to quickly wash my beard, brush my teeth, have a quick spray, and then do school run at like 4 o'clock. So.
My goodness! So you do the collection of the little ones, is that right?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you find that they kind of are quite slow to come out of school, or are they racing to come home?
Quite slow to come out of school because it's always, oh, daddy again. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
And it's 45 children you've got now, isn't it? Is that right?
46, yeah.
46, excellent. Okay, Walton family, yeah. And
yeah.
you're on your 48th wife, is that right?
44th wife.
Right, okay.
46 children, 44 wives.
Excellent.
Hello.
Good. Oh, hiya. Sorry, we didn't even notice you'd gone.
Sorry.
Just talking about my 44 wives and 46 children. Do the maths.
Do the maths.
I just have to say, we look really good on a big screen TV downstairs when you're watching live.
Nice. Sorry, do you have a big screen?
Yes, we do. Not as big as yours, Damien. Does your wife not watch on the big screen on YouTube?
She doesn't actually. No. She is at the moment settling the bubba and then she will probably watch EastEnders.
Lovely.
No interest, none.
You've got to love the other half's interest. My other half watches every week, so that's good.
My wife and me, we both watched one of the YouTube episodes from way back then, last summer, and it was the one where Damien referred to my wife's pension, and she turned it off abruptly and said, "Be careful."
Interesting.
Right. Then. So, sorry about that. I just had to go and get it sorted for downstairs. You have to keep everybody happy. So, just to let you know, this is our last Wednesday show. We will be from next week. We will be moving to a Thursday evening going forward for the podcasts. Pretty much, we there's scheduling issues and all that sort of stuff. So, we're going to be moving to a Thursday from next week instead of a Wednesday. The podcast itself isn't affected. Right. Get my breath back. Are we both ready to do episode number 45?
Let's get on it. It's an exciting episode. Stay tuned. It's going to be a cracker.
Born ready.
It is. It's going to be a good one. Right, this is episode 45 of Three Men and a Microphone. I'm out on Monday, the 22nd of March, 2021. Let's do it.
Three men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really. These three media: Ian Barstow, Damien Lee, Darren Antrobus. Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
Hello, welcome to episode 45 of the podcast. Hope you're doing well. My name is Ian Barstow. Thank you so much for downloading this episode of the podcast. Hope you're going to enjoy the show. Joined as ever by Darren Antrobus. Hello, Darren.
Hello, how are you? You all right?
Yes, I am good actually, thank you, this week. I am in a better mood than last week's episode, I will tell you that. I am fine today.
It's in the air, isn't it? People walking off is in the air.
Yeah, well, yes, it is, earlier on. And hello, Damien, how are you?
Hello. Yeah, do you know what? It's been really nice because we have a little get-together before we come on the show. We're all so chipper. It's nice. We're all in a great mood. And what makes me even more happy, you'll be pleased to know this, guys, listen to these for headlines coming up on Damien's Bits later. Man with a small compete to win an iPhone. Brit woman has 500 orgasms a day. Japanese cooks his genitals for guests. And a businessman transforms corpses into compost. All intellectual and award-winning items from these three media.
No smut and no toilet humour.
No,
none at all.
No,
none
it's
at
all clean family entertainment. Also coming up in today's show, we have a very special Retro Hall of Fame from Lord Michael Cashman, who people may know as Colin from EastEnders. He is picking his Retro Hall of Fame in preparation for his interview, which will be out on Friday on the Interviews podcast, which is a brand new podcast from these three media. All the information you need will be in the show notes on your podcast feed. So have a look at them, click on the link, go and follow the interviews. We've got some really good interviews coming up. We will talk more about that later on. We've also got On The Box and all of the other bits that happen as well. So, this week, I'm going to do a little bit of a mystery voice for you. And I'm hoping it's not going to be too much of a mystery voice, because this is news for me. It was big news to me this week, and it was quite sad news as well for me this week. So let me just fade this talk over music out there, and let me play you this.
3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go.
So, sad news this week, really sad news. We lost Murray Walker at the age of 97. And he, for me, was the voice of Formula One in my youth. He was what I would sit down every weekend that Formula One was on BBC TV. I'd put it on, I'd be sat there with my mum and my dad, and we would listen to him commentating with Martin Brundle, as it was for me. And he was that person who brought Formula One to life and ignited my passion for Formula One motorsport and now motorsport photography. So he was that one person, and it was just, he hasn't commentated on a race for 20 years, but it felt like yesterday when I last heard his commentary, because he had such a distinctive voice and such a passion for the sport. And he was just a legend. He wasn't a Formula One driver, but he was a legend of the sport. And it was very sad news. I think,
can I just interject there then, at that point, because you've said something that I'm not into motorsport. I'm not into any kind of sport, really. If you listen to one of the previous episodes, you'll understand that. And it's his voice that you instantly recognise. And then you watch the programme, maybe not because of what's going on, because he and that voice is delivering what you're seeing on screen. A bit like John Motson. You know,
yeah.
I used to enjoy the England football games, not because I'm an England football fan or anything like that. It's because of the voice and how he delivered it.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's I cannot believe it's 20 years. I remember when they went over to ITV, and I remember him sort of saying, you know, I'm here, a bit different, and it was, he was the voice of Formula One for a lot of us. Great life. I mean, he lived. When did he pass? It was 97.
97. He was 97 years old. I was listening to another podcast, Formula One do a podcast, and they put out a special episode of him, and I'm listening to that at the moment. But there was a fact in there that I had no idea about. So if I say to you, made to make your mouth water, what does that mean to you? Think of a product made to make your...
Opal fruits.
Yes.
Yeah.
He came up with that tagline. He also did the taglines for Kitty Cat, Pal Dog Food, loads of others. So he started doing Formula One commentary as a full-time job when he retired from his advertising career at the age of 60. That's when he started doing it full-time. At 60 years old, he retired and then started his career in Formula One as a broadcaster and commentator.
That's amazing.
Just amazing.
So he made his money in advertising.
Yes.
Which I guess he still owns the rights to the tagline.
I think he either owned or he worked for an agency, but he came up with made to make your mouth water for Opal Fruits.
Never knew that.
And it was like,
Never
what?
That is amazing. Never knew that.
So I'm going to play probably one of the clips that he is most famous for, and this was when Damon Hill finally won the World Championship in Japan, and he said this.
Damon Hill exits the chicane and wins the Japanese Grand Prix, and I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat.
And that just sums him up. And I just wanted to give a little tribute, because Murray Walker was such an icon of the sport and such an icon of broadcasting, that it's just really sad that he's no longer with us. He's another one that's gone to the great racetrack in the sky where he'll be commentating with all the greats.
Indeed.
But yeah,
Indeed.
really good.
Yeah,
I'm very sad about it. So there you go. Murray Walker, rest in peace. You will not be forgotten on your...
I've got one more question to ask you, Ian, because you're a motor racing fan. Did Murray Walker comment on the race where somebody quite famous died? I'll be very vague because I don't know what happened.
He did. He commentated on Ayrton Senna. Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger both died in the same weekend in Imola. It's probably the darkest day of modern Formula One. Touchwood, thankfully now it's a very, very rare occurrence for it to happen. Back then it wasn't so rare. But he did, and it's that very clever skill of going from go, 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 go to being very calm, very sensible, not speculating. Modern example, the Sky F1 team, when Grosjean had his crash at Bahrain last year. It's one of those crashes. I've watched motorsport since I was 5 or 6, so I've watched it for a long time. And you see some crashes and you think, that's not going to end well. Motorsport is dangerous. Whenever you go and see a motorsport event, it always says it on the back of the ticket, motorsport is dangerous. And Grosjean crashed and his car burst into flames. It went through a barrier and it just exploded. And it's one of those things you think, oh my God, that's going to end bad. Thankfully, he got out and was pretty much unharmed. But it's that very good skill of being excitement to serious, to not speculating, to comforting, all that sort of stuff. It's not easy. I couldn't do commentary on sport at all.
You
And
see
while we're
the
sorry, yeah.
sorry, Darren. You see the safety now that they were saying this piece of kit saved his life, and it literally does almost look like a bit of a triangle that's inside the car.
It's the halo.
That's it, the halo, and
which nobody liked when it was first introduced.
Saved his life.
It did, and it's basically a triangle. It's like a wishbone from a chicken. Think of that. But it can, that little bit, you can balance 2 double-decker buses on there and it won't give way. That's how strong that is. Wow. That's how much weight it takes.
Before you move on, we've lost somebody else today, haven't we, in the world of motor sport, the Queen of the Nürburgring?
Yes. Yes, I read this not that long ago. You're going to ask me her name now, aren't you?
I don't know how to pronounce it. I think, is it
Sabrina
Schmidt or something?
Sabrina Schmidt, who was on Top Gear. A lot of people will know her from Top Gear. And she drove a transit van around the Nürburgring for Top Gear. Wow. Sadly she passed away. She was only 51 as well. So yeah, that was one of the greatest women drivers that's sort of been around. She was the queen of Nürburgring, which is 14 miles long. That's how long that track is. So it's a sad time for motorsport. But motorsport moves on, and the Formula One is back in about 2 weeks' time, much to the disgust of Colin downstairs, who hates me watching it, but
Which leads us on to my piece of news about something that's back. Now, there was an outcry, and I can't believe it's been this long now, and I may be slightly wrong on the date on this. It was either 8 or 9 years ago that there was a channel that bought us the likes of Gavin and Stacey, very kind of different retro comedy, and they decided, do you know what? We're going to put it digital. You know, not enough people watch it. It's just going to stick it on digital and put it on, you know, like your iPlayer and stuff like that. Get rid of that, and we'll put CBBC on a bit later. Well, lo and behold, they're bringing back BBC Three. And it's going to be starting again. It's going to be on after CBBC, so they're going to end that a bit earlier now at 7 p.m. Straight after that, BBC Three bought us so many good programs. I'm pretty certain, people are going to shout at me if I get this wrong, I'm pretty certain they may have bought us Fleabag as well. I'm certain they did.
I think they did. I think Fleabag was originally BBC Three.
So BBC Three is just a pioneer for British drama, British sitcom, and it's coming back. And that, for me, is a great piece of news. And we need that, really. We need, that kind of drama and comedy to be on a main terrestrial channel. And it's going to be, which is good news. So
they also brought us Being Human. Is it? No. What was not Being Human? The couple one, the two Irish. Oh, I've forgotten what it was. Darren, say what you're going to say. I want to find out.
I think BBC Three used to do a regular entertainment news spot for about a minute.
They did. You also had the rerun of Eastenders at 10 o'clock at night.
Yes, they did, yeah. And the presenter of the entertainment news slot regularly in the evenings, for about 60 seconds or so, was a guy called Christopher Price, I think.
Oh, was he the same guy that was your number one radio presenter ever?
And he was a gay chap, and I think he died about 6-7 years ago.
Okay, I mean we can move on now. God bless. We've done the I don't want the show to be all about death. So let's not say about every item that he's dead. So but thanks for that.
Normal people. I found it. Normal people.
99, Cuckoo, Little Britain.
Normal people.
Way to Go. Coupling. All BBC Three comedies. Amazing.
Normal people, Damien. Have you not watched
People? Oh my goodness.
I've not seen this one.
I'll tell you what.
Honestly,
not only is it but it's so rude.
It is very rude, and he's very attractive, and I would like to be that necklace. But anyway, he's
maybe we can watch it together.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Colin.
We did. That has been streamed. About, I think it's 100 million times on BBC iPlayer, that series. 100 million. It's brilliant.
Yeah. He's such a good actor. So that's my bit.
He's good at everything.
This week, BBC Three coming back.
Darren, have you got news for us this week?
No, I don't actually. For the one.
Right.
You're normally
obvious-
quite good with your news, to be
I am.
honest.
I am quite good with
You
you,
are,
but
yeah.
there is something I've got a million questions to ask Ian about the fact that he's the next Harriet, whatever his name is, from Creatures Great and Small, with his Sunday roast animals.
Yes,
That he's nicknamed.
I think you need to do the backstory of this, because when I first saw this on my news feed that came up, I was kind of half asleep, and I just saw Ian with a bottle of milk, and I honestly thought that Ian and his partner had adopted a child.
I did, yeah.
And then I was half asleep, and I had to second sort of look again, and I was like, "It's Wooly."
It's a goat.
it's not a goat; it's a sheep.
Oh, right.
Goat.
It's a baby lamb.
It's a bar lamb. So yes, we have become fathers again. To I think this is child number. I don't know, about 30 odd, in an animal sense. So yes, we have adopted. We're not adopted. We brought an orphaned lamb to go on our small holding. And
So
yes, go on.
right. Question number one.
Yes.
Does this lamb live in your house like a dog does?
No.
Like Bryn?
No, at the moment it is now back at the small holding in its little pen with straw and chickens to keep it company. So when you get a lamb, so the orphan lamb is when the mother either rejects it or they have two lambs and they'll only take one lamb or something along those lines. So you can buy these orphan lambs, but because it was only 3 weeks old, I think, something like that, it's still being fed. It would still be fed by its mum, so it would still have milk. So you have to feed it. And then because it's not used to feeding on the bottles with the teats, you have to bring it back and feed it every 3 or 4 hours. And it is just the cutest thing in the world, but it is still called roast. And it
So you've called the lamb roast.
Yes, it's roast, and it's going
So what were your other lambs called?
potato,
Right.
mint sauce, and Yorkshire and pudding.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but it's okay until it meets knife and fork, and then
You can't do that. That's like me being born and my mum and dad going, he's going to be a big lad. We'll call him Fatsmo.
To be honest, Ian and I have always said it, that when we were on lockdown originally, and if food shortage were going to go, we were going to bump you off, to be honest, and we were going to eat you.
A bit of cannibalism is never a bad thing,
Not at all.
So going back to this fact that do you live on a farm?
No. So, we right, okay, let me explain this. So, no, we don't, but we've got a small holding which also has a holiday let. So, if you want to go and check
an
out,
allotment with a shed on.
No, it's an allotment with a very nice 2-bedroomed converted horse stables. So it's converted into it. So, if you want to have a look, I'll put the link down below, but go and have a look at the stables, stableattheoaks.co.uk.
And how far is this from your house?
It's about 10 minutes. It's about 10 minutes away.
Walking or drive?
Driving. So on there we now have 2 pigs, 4 sheep. 3 fully grown ewes, 1 ram, 1 lamb, 9 cockerels, 4 hens, 2 rabbits, and 2 guinea fowl.
So you've got 9 cocks running round.
Yes. 9 cocks. Some of them, but one of them is a very dangerous cock as well. It attacks
Blimey.
you. I know.
God.
Another question. Do you I'm reading. I need to be politically correct because of all the people that have gone meat free and all that kind of stuff.
Oh no, don't bother. They're just vegans. It's fine.
Do you eat them?
Yes. We haven't the lamb
Sorry?
yet. We haven't the lamb, but we have the pigs. We've had a freezer full of pig that we have had. Because where do you think your meat comes from?
Who does the
deed.
The butcher.
Oh, so you don't go in there?
No,
with a
you
tool?
can't. You're not allowed to.
Oh,
You're not
I
allowed
don't
to.
know.
No,
Right, I don't know.
They get
don't
taken.
know.
They get taken to an abattoir. The abattoir then kills them, and then the butcher butchers them, and then you have pork chops and pork steaks and pork roast and pork joints and all that sort of stuff.
Right, so moving on back to the lamb again. So how does one acquire an orphan lamb? Was this just like on a road by you, and you kind of went, Colin, there's a baby lamb.
No, we
Go
brought
outside."
it. We brought it. There is sites you can go on where you can buy livestock. So you can buy pigs, sheep, whatever.
There's a lot
cows.
of sites you can go on here, and you can buy a lot.
Yeah, but
I've never come
no.
across
Yeah, but have you ever wanted to buy a lamb or a sheep? No. So, but there is sites where you can go on and you can trade livestock. So
what sort of conversation in your house when you were sitting there rubbing Colin's feet that you turned around and went, Colin, I really think we need to get a lamb?
Well, I didn't. The first I knew we were getting this lamb was when Colin had a phone call to say, I can pick it up on Saturday. So that was the first time I knew.
So was it a surprise for you? Was it a surprise?
Apparently
lamb?
it was my Valentine's present. I was like, well, I could have done with a box of chocolates. No,
I've got to be honest.
Really weird. If I bought my wife a cow or something, I don't think we'd be married now.
Brilliant. So, I mean, look, I've seen the photo and you're very cute with the lamb. And I'm just thinking, can lamb not become chop? I mean...
Yeah, but where do you think your food comes from?
No, well, I realise that. But this particular one that you're feeding milk, can maybe you just put it in the field with...
Yeah.
It will go. It will end up in a field, and it may well end up that it's going to be the mother because there's a ram in there. So the ram, we're hoping the ram gets.
So let them have a little bit,
and then we'll kill the children and eat the children. It's either way.
Good. Let's move on.
Oh my days!
I've never known anything like. I used to like him.
Well, you know me. I like a big piece of meat, so it's all good.
I certainly know that you like a piece of meat. Yeah.
This is Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
We know so well. We know so well where to stop then, don't we?
Oh, God, it's like we've been doing this show for 45 weeks, honestly.
Hello to everyone watching online. Hello to Anthony and Colin and Bryn. Hello to David and Lynn Holland who are watching as well. They've survived the power cuts. Maybe doing an interview with Mr. Holland at some point as well. He told me a very interesting story, which we will perhaps get him onto the interview podcast. So hello, thank you to everyone that's watching. I believe our connection is better this week than last week, which is good. We seem to be fairly stable on there, so that is all good. But if you are watching on any of the feeds, then drop us a message and say hello, and we will say hello back to you. Right, do we want on the box? Actually, I was going to say, we'll move it around slightly, but no, we'll do on the box. On the box, gentlemen, yes?
On the box, yes.
On the box, yes. Yes. You're going to say clean edit, aren't you?
I am. Clean edit. If I can find the talk over music. It's not like I use it every week. It sounds slick though in the edit, doesn't it?
Oh, it sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely fantastic.
Let's do this. Clean edit.
These Three Media. Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
This is On The Box then. This is where we give you recommendations for stuff we have watched or is coming up over the next 7 days on your telly box. Be that streaming, be that downloading or whatever. I'm going to start this week, and I'm going to start with a show that when this is released on Monday would have gone out the night before, and it would have been my number one thing to watch. And it is, of course, Line of Duty Series 6, episode number 1. It's out on Sunday!
Yeah. Can you just recap where they left off last time?
No, I'm not sure, because my plan is, over the weekend, to watch the last episode of series number 5, to find out where we ended up. So I'm not sure, but I do know that it did end on a proper cliffhanger. That is Ted Hastings H. Is he H? Is he? No, I hope he isn't.
I think she's H.
What? Kate?
Yeah, I think Kate is.
Really?
I think Kate is H.
I think she's Dodge, corrupt.
Well, do you know what? You watch that programme and you start thinking everyone's Dodge. Like, there have an extra in the background, like, it's him. He's never been in it. It's him.
Or someone will pick up the phone in a strange way and you go, is that person?
It is a brilliant. Do you know who's put that series together?
Jed Mercuro.
I thought it was Susan... She played...
I think she... I'm pretty certain
Eastenders.
She directs some of the episodes. Susan Tully.
That's it.
Who is an amazing director. Absolutely amazing. But Jed McCurrick is actually one of the writers as well of Bloodlands, one of the programmes we reviewed
he was the executive producer, and that ended last week.
Please, yes.
No, I'm not going to...
No.
Oh, you've not watched it. Okay, I won't ruin it for you.
No.
But I was really disappointed in the fact that Ted Hastings didn't show up in the last episode to take over the investigation, because that would have been a perfect crossover
It would have been
into
very
Line of
much into
Duty.
it. Yeah,
So yes, it is back. Starring Adrian Dunbar as Ted Hastings, Vicky McClure as Kate Fleming, Martin Constant as DS Steve Arnott, who it's really weird when you see him with his real accent, because I'm so used to seeing him in that with his very good British accent, English accent, but he's actually really Scottish. So it's always strange for me. I know that's what actors do. And the big star, the big guest star, the big evil person or not evil person, the one they're investigating, is played by Kelly MacDonald, and she is playing DCI Joanne Davidson. And that is the antagonist of this series. And I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it, honestly.
It is such a great show, and how that was ever on BBC Two. But the most things that are on BBC Two, which is a great channel, by the way, one channel of the year as well. I shouldn't say why BBC Two, but a lot of stuff migrates to BBC One. Now, please tell me they're not releasing all of them on the iPlayer.
They are not. They are not. They are releasing. It is one episode at a time.
How it should be.
Yes, definitely. Particularly for things like that, because for the whole week after, you're going to be online looking at different things. You're going to read. I'll read about it. I'll talk to people about it. Be like, oh, what do you think of that? What was that? What was that about? You would not believe how excited I am.
I've got to do a complete social media blackout on Monday because obviously, because of my job, I have to watch it a day later.
No, sure. just be tired. Just no.
Oh, just be tired. Just be tired.
You can't, honestly, because I tried that with Game of Thrones at certain points, and I stayed off Twitter, and then I just literally looked at a loading page or something, and it gave a massive spoiler in the middle of it that I saw, and I was like, oh, for God. Very
You see, you can kind of get away with that, and even like at work, you can get away with that sort of stuff. However, I could never get away with mine. So my old bosses back in the day knew that around January, the end of January, I'd be off for, on a Monday.
WrestleMania!
And then in March or April, I'd be off. So I'd book off a Monday after Royal Rumble, and then I'd be off after a WrestleMania. And they were like, you do realise you're in your 30s. And I was like, I resent that. Man with you.
I work with somebody that's exactly the same as that still now. They've booked off the day after WrestleMania, which I think
I have to ask
at the end of this week.
I don't know who to ask, so I'm going to put that off, to be honest.
We were so into Game of Thrones in our office that when the last two series was on, I set up a calendar reminder and a meeting invite to everybody in the office that was interested in it, that we would not talk about it before this time. So I think it was Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. If you hadn't watched it by then and you came into the office, it is your own fault for having spoilers. So it was a spoiler-free zone up until that point, and then after that, it was the open discussion in the office for that. That's how serious I am about spoilers. Darren, what is yours, please?
Mine is it is a new one again, but it actually started way back in 1977 with presenters such as Noel Edmonds, Angela Rippon, and a few others as well. It's had a lot of controversy, very big budgets thrown at it, and it started again on Sunday with Chris Harris, Freddie Flintoff, and Paddy McGuinness. I give you on the box the new season of Top Gear.
Loved it.
It is so good.
Love it and love them.
The thing that upsets me about Top Gear is it went through that moment where Clarkson, Hammond and May left, elephants in the room, whatever happened. I'm not going to get into that. And then Chris Evans took over with Matt LeBlanc, and I never watched it then. It was just like...
But I heard he was quite good. Wasn't he quite good on it?
Chris Evans wasn't. Chris Evans I didn't like on it at all. Matt LeBlanc, the second series, he was very good when they gelled. But this threesome is just brilliant. They are
They are a new version.
So why did Matt leave then? Was it just the kind of scheduling or something?
I think it was probably scheduling. I think the BBC probably said, you know what, we need a... I think they were trying to keep it active in America because it's a massive brand for them. It's massive in America, so they needed that star. But yeah, honestly, Freddie Flintoff, Paddy McGuinness, and the other one, what's his name?
Chris Harris.
Thank you.
He's my favourite.
I know, I like him. I really do like him. And the last episode that was on was just
really emotional.
Yeah, really emotional.
It's my item. Can I talk?
Sorry,
about it?
yes.
Yeah, behave yourself, Captain. So they were talking this week about Dad's cars they were reminiscing, and they went to this barn. They lifted all these covers, and it got really, really emotional to the point where Chris Harris was talking about he buys some sweets, put them in the glove box of his new car, only because his dad used to do it in the old car many, many years ago, and obviously his dad's not with him anymore. And I was watching him deliver this piece to camera while I was driving. I had a lump in my throat, and then it got me and my other half talking about my dad, what car my dad had.
So go on then. What was it then?
Cavalier.
Ford Cavalier?
No,
Vauxhall
Cavalier.
Sorry, yeah, Vauxhall Cavalier. My dad's was an Austin Maxi.
I don't even know what one of those is.
Yeah, it's not one you'd really want to be reminiscing over. It's not a Ford Escort, that's for certain. Damien, what was...
Mine was a Midland Red West, because my dad didn't drive till he was about 30. So, I was on the bus with him with a bus pass and a carrier bag for years.
Was it the number 57 bus?
100%. Number 57 or 58 on the way back.
58 on the way back, yeah, that was
Who
it.
knew?
But I've been so obviously, yeah. So Top Gear is my on the box. It's a brand new season. At the start of the seasons, they always say this is coming up in the series.
Yes.
I don't think they've done a big challenge in this series, have they?
No, because I think it's very COVID, stay in the UK, pretty much, not travel abroad.
On that note, I'm looking forward to the Scotland special from the old crew on Amazon Prime Grand Tour. So.
Yes, they're doing that. And I do like the Grand Tour still. I still think Jamie Clarkson, they are
it.
very good. Yes, it's contrived. We all know it's scripted. But it's just so funny.
Is it scripted though?
Yes, it is.
They just record lots of stuff and then edit it down to the best bits.
No,
Darren,
it's scripted.
It's and I agree with you. It's like Towie. It's what as it happens.
Constructive
it's real life.
reality.
A bit like this show.
Yeah,
it just looks carnage, but everything. The words I'm speaking now are on this. I just read it.
I love Top Gear, and so Sunday nights for me will probably be Antiques Roadshow, because hey, why not? I'm that old. Antiques Roadshow, Country File, Antiques Roadshow, Top Gear, Line of Duty.
And I did watch. I used to enjoy before Country File. Who's that? The old chap. What's his name? Sir David Attenborough. Is that right?
Yes, Life in Colour.
That's brilliant.
Yes, very good.
That was really good. Is that not on now?
What's his name? He's only the voice of a generation. Unbelievable. This is our co-presenter and our co-director of our company. He hasn't got a clue, has he? I don't know where we. Well,
you think Murray Walker is a voice of a generation? Flipping out, Sir David Attenborough is the voice of a generation for the world.
He is just. It's like David Jason. It's these people that you want them to live forever.
Yes.
Amazing. Really amazing.
Damien, have you got an on the box this week?
See, mine is, I'm going a bit Darren. I'm going a bit controversial. And the only reason I'm doing this is because what I like about on the box is, hopefully when you guys listen to the podcast, you'll go and listen to some of the things that we recommend you. What the three of us do, we also give each other ideas as well. So the first one is, Darren, did you watch Behind Her Eyes in the end?
I still haven't got the time yet, so please don't ruin anything.
Ian, have you watched it?
The biggest waste of 6 hours of my life, Damien. I don't get why people loved it. Yes, the twist at the end is good, but we waited 5 hours and 50 minutes to get to that point.
Did you guess it?
Yeah, well, yes, I did at the end. I did about a second before, but it just, without ruining it for anyone, it just dragged on. I'm sorry.
Now, to be fair, it has been described as Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. For an intellectual like myself, I loved it. For someone who likes a spirograph,
it was just boring. It was boring. Nothing happened for 5 episodes.
Still
Darren,
Behind Her Eyes.
Like
yeah, still Behind Her Eyes. Yeah. Anyway, what's yours this week, Damien, please?
So I'm going to go back in time. And the reason I'm going back in time is because I was recommended this. And we could not stop watching it. And it was recommended by Ian. And he actually said one thing to me. He said, watch out for this one episode. And I won't tell you what it is. But you have to text me when you watch the episode. And we watched the episode and we were just aghast. It was, oh my gosh. So we kind of was looking for something after watching It to Sin, which was so good. And we were just on that kind of, we were on the rainbow train and we were loving life and music was there and we thought, right, we've got to watch something. So Ian recommended another one of Russell T Davis's programs, which was a show called Cucumber. It was on in 2015, created by Russell T Davis, and it basically explores 21st century gay life. It focuses on, this is really good as well, it focuses on middle-aged characters.
Hello!
There you go. One of them is Vincent Franklin, who is amazing. And it follows an absolute disastrous date night with his boyfriend of 9 years, Lance Sullivan. Henry's old life shatters and he embarks on a new life where he goes off and does new things, and the other partner still kind of longs for him, but he's trying to mirror what he's doing. There's a couple of sister programs as well alongside it called Banana and Tofu, which I haven't seen yet, but aren't as good as from what I hear. It's drama, it's laughter, it's linked in slightly with Queer as Folk. There's a quirky bit where it's kind of a throwback to Queer as Folk. And it's very emotional, very emotional. Not as emotional as It's a Sin, but it takes you on a journey that's more up to date. I cannot recommend it enough. The acting is, you just think you're watching a documentary because it's that good. The lines are flowing that much. The dynamic between the two main stars is fantastic. The music's great. Some of the rude scenes are very rude. It's a great show. If you can, it's on all four. It's still on, and it is the fantastic. There's 8 episodes, and I think we watched 4 in one night and then 4 in another night. We loved it. Cucumber, Russell T Davis, more 4.
I will say one thing for you about that series, and Damien will know what this bit is. It is a hit around the head that completely knocks the wind out of you. In one of the episodes, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to ruin it for people, because it is it's Russell T Davis doing what he does at just literally bashing you down. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. It's a really good. It wasn't particularly well received when it came out, but it is very good. So thank you, everybody. Yes, Darren.
I've got something to bring up with Damien, actually. A bone to pick with you, or several bones to pick with you.
I've got a lot since lockdown, to be honest.
And I don't know whether this will stay in, but I want to put it on the live show anyway. Unforgotten. Yeah.
Don't want you to tell me anything about it because I haven't seen last night's episode.
I wouldn't bother. It's a bit like Behind Her Eyes for Ian. It's dragging its feet, and we've given up on it.
Take that out, because there was no point in that conversation at all.
No, because you've been banging on about Unforgotten.
You have, actually, to be fair.
I did start watching it just after you started watching it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, do something. Just.
Anyway, can I come out of On the Box, please?
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Just before you do, just get ready with the thingy. Darren, at the end of the day, get ready. I'm not Barry Norman. Do you know what I mean? Take it with that, Ian. Pinch of salt, you absolute.
Ooh. It's a bit harsh. Anyway, that was this week's On the Box. So we've had Line of Duty, Top Gear, and Cucumber. Hearty recommendations from all of us. I think you will agree.
Darren Antropus, Ian Barstow, and Damien Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Just to let you know, if you're watching on the live stream, again, just a reminder, if you've just joined us, we will be moving to Thursdays from next week. So from next week onwards, we'll be on a Thursday evening. So you can watch us on there, Thursday, 8 o'clock, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. You can join the millions of people that watch us every week. Right. So, do we want to do Damien's bits?
Right. I even laughed at my bits then. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for the bits.
Please, Damien bits. They are intellectual. They are interesting stories. There's no smut or rudeness, is there?
No,
I think I did the headlines at the top of the show. Yes. I can't promise that. If anything, these are probably some of the worst.
And just to say for Martin Hutchinson, who was watching at the minute, I didn't say anything bad about you on the live stream, Martin. We were just saying that you're a wrestling fan and you're a sad geek at your age to be still watching WrestleMania at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. Right, let's do Damien's bits. Where's my talk over music? Where is it? There it is. Is that longer than it used to be?
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like I'm about to go into Dungeons and Dragons, to be honest.
It is a bit like Dungeons and Dragons, isn't it? Anyway, this is a bit in the show.
Uni.
This is a bit in the show where Damien shows us his bits. He's got 4 bits for us to look at today. Hopefully not meat and 2 veg included, but we will find out. Damien, what are your bits this week?
So the bits start with the tagline of a businessman transforms corpses into compost before sending them to loved ones.
Okay, is this legally done?
So basically, a new business is set to become the largest place in the world to offer grieving relatives the option to turn their dead loved ones into compost, and it opens next month.
Well.
Now, a little crafty businessman in America is giving those grieving the loss of a loved one the ability to bury them in their own back garden, should they wish to. Entrepreneur Mika Truman left his comfortable career in finance, similar, back in 2019 after discovering that it was legal to compost human bodies in Washington. Speaking about the huge launch of this at a business venture. Now, shortly after walking away from his career in finance, he launched Return Home, which hopes to open a facility in Seattle in just a matter of weeks. Now, Return Home allows people to turn their loved ones into compost after mixing their corpse with materials such as wood chips, water, heat, sawdust, and alfaya to rapidly increase I shouldn't laugh at this. To rapidly increase the decomposition.
Well, do you know? Can I make a comment?
Well, you'll wait till I finish the story. 30 days after arrival at Return Home, the soft tissue of the corpse would have decomposed, and then the teeth and bones are later grounded down to create a mixture before going through a process to remove things such as screws or silicone from boobs. After going through the hefty process, the compost remains are delivered to the bereaved relatives 30 days later in a special urn. Truman added that the process is a way for relatives to say goodbye to their loved ones in a way that just feels good.
Well, do you know, to be fair, I can see the valid point in that, because everything grows out of compost, and you know what dies in the ground then grows out to be trees and plants and everything else. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. It saves on environmental waste from incinerations, and you know, it saves on land space for things. I think it's a good idea.
When my days are numbered, when my number's up, if you ground me down into compost and sprinkle me on so all the cats can defecate all over the soil and the flower beds and all that kind of stuff, I will haunt you.
But you won't know.
There's another option here. Now, while families might be able to use the compost to plant things such as flowers or vegetables, Mika will also be giving them the option to mix their favourite flower or food into their composts, which is estimated to cost around £3,500.
What, to do it?
Yeah.
God, Jesus, now I'll feed you to the pigs. They'll get rid of you.
Just make me some instant mash with quavers in it and just put that in the soil bin.
Just to let you know, the legal bit, in the UK, natural or green funeral and burials are allowed, which see corpses buried in biodegradable coffins. That's the legal bit, just so we're covered. Okay.
Do you know what you can do as well? You can give your body to science, and then there is a place in the UK where they put bodies out in fields or out in areas to study how things decompose.
They do. They are called body farms.
Yeah, for crime investigation and all stuff like that.
You saw that on Waking Dead, didn't you? With Trevor Eve.
No, I've seen it on something else. But yeah, it is a thing. You can do it.
Interesting.
Anyway, next one, please, Damien.
Yeah, next one on the bits. So men with small penises competed to win an iPhone. This happened in New York. A bawdy Danish dating site was offering an iPhone to the user who is the least endowed in terms of their manhood. In the competition that will run from, well, this was a while ago. Yeah, exactly. Now, the website, just to give this a bit of publicity, singlesex.dx, wants to reward men that nature didn't intend to. Men could submit a photo of their small penis, and women users will play the judge. The winner gets an iPhone 5.
Oh, great.
iPhone 5?
They do another one.
iPhone 5? That's like about 8 years old.
The winner gets an iPhone 5 for having a tiny willy.
You've got a small penis
Brilliant.
and also have a shit phone.
Oh, God. Now, here's the next one. Brit women have 500 orgasms a day. I was going to say something then, but it's totally inappropriate, so I won't. Now, weekly shopping or vacuuming the house, which are simple, dull chores for most people, get a woman from England so aroused that she can have up to 500 orgasms a day. Zara Richardson from Basingstoke.
I never want to see that face on you again, David. At all, never.
It looked like Roland Rat.
Chewbacca. Now, Zara Richardson from Basingstoke has a disorder called persistent sexual arousal syndrome.
Lucky her.
Short, PSAS. Suffering with PSAS has ruined Zara's love life, as no man feels able to satisfy her in the bedroom. It says under here, cross out a real name, it's Karen Lee. I don't know what that meant.
Going back to that actual woman.
You know her?
No. It just, I would love to date her. The pressure's off. You don't work so hard, have you? You fancy frisky? No, I've got a backache. Hoover up, love.
Finally, the last bit on Damien's bits today. Japanese cooks his genitals to guests. Now, a man who cooked his genitals and served them up to diners at a Japanese restaurant has been charged with indecent exposure. Maya Sangagami had... You all right?
Uh-huh.
Mayo Sangagami had his penis and testicles surgically removed by a physician in March. They'd been certified free from infections and were frozen for 2 months before being served up at a banquet. At a banquet, flipping it, we've gone from tiny willies to an absolute trunk. The 23-year-old charged guests around £160 per person to eat the meal, which was garnished with mushrooms and a bit of parsley.
Is this not a bush tucker trial?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, were my bits.
I've got a couple of questions, as we normally do. Why?
Listen, Damien's bits has gone through a bit of a, we started off with smut, then we kind of went into the American zone of, okay, we're going to do some lovey-dovey stories, and that didn't work. Our executive producer, Colin, keep your nose out of my items, decided that wasn't that great. So we mixed it up a bit and gone back to smut. And to be honest, it seems quite popular because if you look at the metrics of the show, the highest rated part of the show is Damien's bits, which is amazing to see.
It is.
Amazing.
It's also not true. So yeah, it's
there you go.
yeah.
So we've covered there, just to let you know again, corpses, small penises, orgasms, and genitals. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this might not make the edit. This is why we're on podcast radio, for items like that.
Yeah, that on 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'll go down well.
Hello, Ofcom.
There's season 2.
There's a podcast award entry.
I'll tell you
right
what.
there.
Right, Damien's bits. Thank you. More balls and more penises next week.
You didn't say how small the winner was.
Oh, it's tiny. It's like a thimble.
Oh, I've actually got the prize here in my drawer.
Right.
3 men close to a midlife crisis. 3 microphones, 1 Zoom call, all lead to this. On the 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
Right, where are we? Okay, right, fine. You got to be up early tomorrow, aren't you, Damien?
I have, actually, yeah. What I like about this show is it's much better than last week's, because last week's was shite.
Was it?
Oh, it was bloody awful.
If anyone hasn't listened to the episode yet on podcast, it sounds fine in the edit. The live show
I know
wasn't.
it was bad, because I came off the show and I stunk. Honestly, my pits are sweating. And I know, because I was getting that kind of moody sweat.
I'm in
a mood.
The reason why is because you messed up the beginning and you just set us all off on the wrong foot.
But then
both
you've got
of you.
Mardy, and I can't be doing with Mardiness. I can't be doing with negative energy.
But both of
and
you
we
did
were
it.
joking, and you threw your toys out of the pram, and then I sweat. And I had to go upstairs, wash my pits. Then I woke the babby up because it was wet. It did, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I got the vibe that it was a great show. Sorry, mate. So.
It's a good listen. I would recommend everyone goes and follows the podcast and downloads it, please. Thank you.
It was one of my favourites, to be honest.
Yes, it was.
Episode 44 was award-winning.
Anyway, I've counted how many you did when you were padding out.
A lot.
Last week.
A lot.
Yeah.
And you'll hear more on the Retro Hall of Fame, which is coming up next as well. Because I do a lot, and I don't know I'm doing it. So, yes.
Can we just say, though, again, I know we say this a lot, but since the show's inception, we have been so lucky to have some of the guests that we've had. Joe likes it. We've had Lisa Appleton on. Many, many interesting people. And the Retro Hall of Fame has been something that people now are sort of saying, oh, the Retro Hall of Fame. And this week's guest, and I'm genuinely looking forward to the interviews, which I will be downloading and listening to on Friday. I was a big fan of Eastenders, and I still am a fan of Eastenders. I must have been 8 or 9 when I started watching it. So in about 1988, 1989, and there were 2 gay characters in it, Barry and Colin. And Ian, you can tell the rest of the story.
So
but
there's my intro to the feature gone.
So looking forward to this item. It's what an amazing guest, and he's a lord.
Yes, I know. We will. Let's do it now. Clean edit into Retro Hall of Fame.
It's time to delve into the archive for the Retro Hall of Fame on the 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Retro Hall of Fame part of the podcast, and this week we have a very special guest. We have recorded an interview with this particular person, which will be out on our brand new podcast from These 3 Media called The Interviews, which launches on Friday the 26th of March, which, if you're listening to this on the week of release, is this coming Friday. All the information you need is in the show notes down below. Click on the link and you'll be able to find this new podcast. So, in episode 1, we are having an interview with a lord, a member of the House of Lords, and his name is Mr. Michael Cashman. It's a really good interview. I interviewed him and it was just... He was lovely. He invited me and Colin to go for a drink with him when we can in London, so I will be taking him up on that offer, definitely, especially as he's paying. But yeah, it's a really good interview and it's out on Friday. We'll talk more about that after we've gone through the Retro Hall of Fame. So,
and who did he play?
He played Colin in EastEnders, and he was involved in the first ever gay kiss on a British soap. And without giving too much away, it is not a kiss that you would think would cause controversy, but you can listen to the interview podcast to find out what that kiss was about if you don't remember. But this is Lord Michael Cashman and his Retro Hall of Fame. Enjoy. I am waiting for Darren's reaction. It's going to be good.
It's time to delve into the archive for the Retro Hall of Fame on the 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
So thank you, me, for introducing the Retro Hall of Fame. I am here with Lord Michael Cashman, who we have an interview coming out shortly. You'll be able to hear that on the Interviews podcast. Links are in the description below. And Michael is going to pick his Retro Hall of Fame item. So this is where you get to pick one item that you think deserves to be in the Retro Hall of Fame. And we've had so far, Joe Lycett had a Celebrity Big Brother, the one with from 2006. We've had 20s Charleston music. We've had Big Tracks, which was my favourite one so far, and we've had Thunderbirds. So we've only got 4 entries. It's a very elite group and a mixed group of things. So Michael, hello, and what is your Retro Hall of Fame item?
Well, I'm going to completely rock the boat here and say it's going to be a pair of Y-fronts. Y-fronts were the sexiest underwear of the 1950s and early 60s, only available in white and called Y because it's an upside down Y. And for me, seeing the men in the swimming baths and in the steam rooms stood there in their Y-fronts is just indelibly printed like a little negative on my brain. So I want them up there. They used to be, I think, manufactured by Scott and Lyle, or Lyle and Scott, and the jockey was there. They should be up there. It's a Hollywood item. It's a UK icon. There you go.
Oh, I am imagining Darren's response to that for certain. Damien will be fine. Darren, I'm going to have fun with that one. Yes. Did you used to open the catalogues?
Of course.
I'm just looking at toy. There we go. The underwear section.
Yes, as soon as the new catalogue arrived, I would disappear with it. And of course, if you look back, it was the only way. The health magazines, men posed. It was the only way you could look at a partially clothed man in the clothes catalogues or the health magazines. Yeah. And
teenagers nowadays don't know how good they've got it, do they?
Yeah, well, sadly, they're probably. I shouldn't say this. I was going to say they've got too much choice now.
So, Y-fronts from the 1970s and the 60s is Michael's Retro Hall of Fame item. Right, back to me, Damien, and Darren on the show to get the response.
It's time to delve into the archive for the Retro Hall of Fame on the 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
And there we go. That was this week's Retro Hall of Fame. Right. Oh,
into the archive.
Sorry, I'll come out of that cleaner. There we go. Do that again. And there we go. That was this week's Retro Hall of Fame. I love it. I think it's a brilliant Retro Hall of Fame because it is proper retro and it's proper specific.
I thought it was brilliant how he delivered that as well.
I'm Darren.
Wow.
Darren.
So you want to come to me first, don't you?
Yeah. Go on, Darren. Why front?
I was brought up. I was never allowed to wear briefs as a child in the 80s and early 90s. I was never allowed to wear briefs or boxer shorts or anything. I was always taught by my mum and dad you have to wear Y-fronts, right? And then I decided not to wear Y-fronts when I hit about 11 because we went on a family holiday to Turkey, and I remember my dad was a heavy smoker, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, because we were in an apartment, I was on the settee bed. All I remember is smelling my dad's cigarette smoke, and he's walking to the balcony. I can see it now with his white Y-fronts on. And these Y-fronts were quite old, so they were not white anymore.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, no.
You know?
So it's not a pleasant memory for you, then?
No,
More skids in Silverstone.
So not that bad. No, not that bad. But
Good Lord. I feel sorry for my wife, honestly. Jeepers.
and I can't. Y-fronts. Oh, do you want my vote yet or not?
Not yet, but I can pretty much imagine it. My thought is that it's a fantastic Retro Hall of Fame, specifically because it is very specific to him, and the fact that when he was growing up in the 50s, and he was sort of finding out he was a gay man, you couldn't go online and find out what you wanted to find out. You literally took the opportunity to have an article where you were. So yeah, a man in well-fitting underwear is a very, you have.
That's the point. Well-fitting.
Well, yes, it has to be well-fitting, and it has to, show off the assets. But yeah, if you're at a gym, when I used to go to the gym, you just getting changed, just have a quick look, yeah.
I mean, Y-fronts for me, a traditional 80s version of Y-fronts, they were big enough to be parachutes.
Brown and white. That's the vision I get when I think of Y-fronts, and that's not the.
Are they still a thing? Do they still make them?
I'm sure you can still buy them.
Because I remember being at first school.
You brought them.
My ex-mother-in-law for the last Christmas I had as a married man.
There's our secret Santa buggard, I tell you. I don't know whether you two wore these when you were at school, but I remember specifically Y-fronts, but also a vest as well. Remember wearing a vest?
Vest and Y.
What was the thing with the vest? How come vests aren't a thing now?
I'm not sure, and they're not. And I wouldn't wear a vest. Even summer, I don't like wearing vests. But
I've got a family video of me sweating at a family disco in 1990 with a blue vest under a white.
Oh no! Oh dearie me.
I think you have to be a certain body type to be able to pull off a vest.
Yeah, not somebody that looks like Stavro Flatley.
I look like what's his name from Keeping Up Appearances.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, the neighbour with the lager.
No, it was the husband, wasn't it? Was it the husband?
No, it was the brother-in-law.
The brother-in-law, that was it. Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
Or Jim
Oswald or something.
Yeah, or Jim Raw from the Raw family. He was vest and Y-fronts, wasn't he?
Anyway, Nesbitt.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why they're not worn anymore. Right, so let's go for the votes then. Darren.
Not a great memory, and they're not very. For me, they're not very good to look at. They were very comfortable in my younger years, but I couldn't wait to start buying my own underwear. I'm sorry, it's a no from me because it's disgusting.
Damien.
So when I look at the Great Hall with Celebrity Big Brother, Lisa Appleton. Sorry, she didn't go in, bless her. Lisa's not in the Hall of Fame. Big Tracks, Thunderbirds, and Teletext. How could you not have the classic Y-front in there? I just think there's nothing. That's just retro all over it. And I can see it in our physical Hall of Fame now. Just on a little mannequin with a big bulge and a Y-front with a bit of Marmite at the back.
And a little yellow stain where he's not...
Beautiful. Yeah, where you always have your little drip. For God's sake, honestly. Just stick a bit of tissue in there. Stop it.
Is it a yes?
Oh, get in. I'm sick of that dribble, honestly.
Get it in. But yes, it's a yes from Damien. And for
I would
me...
say, let's get Y-fronts. Congratulations, Sir, Lord.
I've not voted
Cashman.
yet. I've not voted yet. I got to have a bit of tension. Well, as much as I like them, and as much as I agree with him that when I was younger, you would look at the K's catalogue and go to the underwear section. No, they're not. Of course, they're going into the Retro Hall of Fame. Joining the likes of the Charleston 20s, Big Tracks, Celebrity Big Brother, Thunderbirds, and Teletext into the Retro Hall of Fame is Y-fronts from the 1950s, white in particular. Yeah. Oh. You've made that noise before in a club. Congratulations, Y-fronts, you are a member of the Retro Hall of Fame. Yeah, really good. If you want to listen to the interview with Lord Michael Cashman, you can do Friday. I'm going to start that bit again. If you want to listen to don't stop. If you want to listen to the interview with Lord Michael Cashman, you can do on the brand new podcast, The Interviews, which launches on Friday, the 26th of March. All the information you need is in the show notes below. Click on the link and you will be able to get taken straight to the podcast and you can subscribe on there. Coming up, we have interviews with Lord Michael Cashman. We've got Simon Dunn, who was the first gay out bobsleigh athlete, but a very interesting story around that. And I spoke to him in Australia. Darren has done interviews with the Bold Builders, who are massive on Facebook, proper viral sensation. Chrissy Rock, who was from Benidorm, Stevie Ritchie from The X Factor, Dave Hemingway, who I had no idea when I read the name. I was like, who is that? And you listen to it, it's him out of Beautiful South and the House Martins. Yes, we have him doing an interview with us. That's a nice one. And we've also got Steve Royal, who was Darren.
Britain's Got Talent finalist. He came second to John Courtney last year.
Yes, so we've got him, and we've got lots more. Damien is speaking to a really interesting Martin Blythe, and it was a really good interview. It's basically about a teacher who leaves his job to start a zoo, and it's all the things about it, but he is proper inspiring. I really enjoyed the interview. So that's coming up as well. So all of that and much more planned will be coming up on the Interviews podcast. Basically, it's an 30 minutes to an hour interview with people that are just interesting and have got a good story to tell. So go and subscribe now. All the links are down in the show notes, and you can listen to the first episode, which is out on Friday, the 26th of March. And it's going to be good. And it's the interviews.
It is so exciting. We've had chance to hear some of them already, and it is a great, great show. And like Ian said, it's not just all famous people. There's going to be some people you know, some people you don't know, and it's about interesting stories as well. People that have got genuine stories that you sort of think, wow, and are quite inspiring. Very different to this show. It's going to be great, and it really is something that if you're in the car, you're going on a journey and you want something to listen to, you're going for a jog or something, it's just very chilled listening with really interesting stories. Probably some of the best work that I think the three of us have done. Really exciting, and they're out from Friday the 26th. Very exciting. The interviews from D3 Media.
It's a very good sell, that.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's almost like I had that on the piece of paper for you to do.
Cheers, yeah. Well, like I said, none of what I say... Oh, just about... Now look at the camera and nod.
Right, let's do the ending, shall we? Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Three Men and a Microphone. Don't forget, you can go back and listen to all the other episodes if you want to. And I would recommend you do, because they are very funny and entertaining. So if you want to have a listen, go back to them via the feed. Don't forget to find out more information. Head over to threemenandthemicrophone.co.uk. If you want to submit any Retro Hall of Fame items and be on the show, then do that on the website. Search us on Twitter and Facebook, Three Men and a Microphone. Don't forget, you can find the podcast, the New Boot podcast, the interviews. All the information is down below. Go and subscribe to that. You won't regret it, I guarantee you. Darren, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the date of the 12th of April, just around the corner. I can get these bad boys sorted out. Eyebrows.
Oh, yes. Is that when hairdressers open?
And the gym's open. For my life... My bubble will get back to normal on the 12th of April. Come on.
Is that a joke, saying that to Darren? Our hairdresser's open.
What if he's going to have his eyebrows threaded?
It's like a Greek Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I have them threaded.
Who needs one? I'm looking like the Empire State Building here, man.
It's not grown anymore since lockdown. You're struggling, aren't you, David?
Yeah, really struggling. I look like a cross between Gareth Gates and Empire State Building. It's awful.
And that's the reason my camera is at this angle and I don't dip my head down, because then you find out I've got no hair. Damien, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, there's a few bits and bobs in the news at the moment about AstraZeneca, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox about it. But WHO are saying go and get it done. The British government are saying go and get it done. It is a wonderful vaccine. Go and get it. If you get the call for your jab, go and get your jab. We're doing so well.
Thank you. We are back again next week with more of the same. If you want to listen and watch us, you can do every Thursday evening on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube for the live show. We will see you again in 7 days' time. Look after yourselves. 3 Men and a Microphone has been a These Three Media production. Bye for now. Honestly, you should have seen mine and Darren's face when you were going on about the vaccines. Oh, God, here he goes again.
Yeah, just generally
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean, honestly, it's like the end of the show bit. We get someone to say,
the end of the tunnel is
Darren's is the same every week. He just about sounds awake. Oh, okay. Oh, I've got to be up in a few hours. Oh, by the end of the show, I've lost all my energy. And I'm like a boring fart.
Yeah, but you're just one of those really cheesy, kind of like, yeah, everything's going to be great. Everything's fantastic.
You know what? Next time I'll just say goodnight. And then you'll both be like, oh, well, that's a bit different.
Do you want to practice now?
Yeah.
Go on, just say it.
Good night.
3 Men and a Microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
And the end of the script went really well. Thank you. Right. Right. Thank you very much for watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Yeah, we're still on.
Of course, stuff. How many times do you want to say bye? It's ridiculous. This bit is. We've said bye, then we've said see you later again. Half of the audience is gone.
We haven't had an audience for most of it. Anyway, thank you to Lynn and David Holland for watching. Thank you to Anthony. We are moving to Thursdays from next week. So Thursday evenings, 8 o'clock is a brand new time for the live show. Look after yourselves. We'll be back again next week. Bye, Darren. Oh, go on.
He's got a pillow behind him. Has he got backache?
Yeah, it's probably to make him, lean forward. I don't know. It's a very boring background, isn't it?
Yeah.
It needs a bit of oomph.
Needs some colour in it.
Yeah, it does. Right. See you all. Have a good week. We'll be back again next Thursday. Yeah, same to you as well. Bye, everybody.